Hey guys, welcome to this tank review of the German Tier 9 heavy tank, the E50. Before I'm going to show you some gameplay, I want to run down the basic stats of this tank. It has the best top speed of all the Tier 9 mediums at 60 kilometers an hour. The gun is absolutely amazing. It has great accuracy at 0.3 and a very good aim time of 2.1 seconds. The AP and APCR shells have the highest velocity of any of the Tier 9 medium tanks. The view range is also very good. It's 260 base, so you can boost that with premium consumables, coated optics, binoculars, and also ventilation. So the gun does 350 damage on average, and you shoot 6.8 rounds a minute, giving a base DPM of 2380, which is 100 lower than the T-54. The gun depresses really nicely. It has 5 degrees over the front, which does not allow for a lot of flexibility. But if I turn the turret to the side, I can see that we can get 8 degrees of gun depression, which is very, very good. If I turn it back, you'll see that the gun is depressing no more than 5 degrees. It has the worst power to weight ratio of all Tier 9 medium tanks, but the overall best ground resistances. It also has the best HP at 1700 than any of the other Tier 9 medium tanks. The hull is quite decently armored for a medium. It has a 150mm top frontal plate, which is here, and on the lower plate it's 100mm, as you can see here. But you can see, due to the angling, you get an effective armor looking straight on at this tank of 256mm on the upper plate, which makes it very, very strong. So if you can get up close and personal to your enemies, they won't be able to shoot into your lower plate, and they will keep shooting on your upper plate, and hopefully they will bounce. The lower plate is the main frontal weak spot, but also the small cheeks on the turret, which are here. They have 185mm and can also pretty easily be penetrated, as there's barely any angling on it. Aiming for the cheeks, however, should only be an option for you if the enemy is hull down. If you want to angle, don't exceed 25 degrees, which is looking something like this, as your poor side armor will quickly be open to enemy fire. A quick tip on how to angle this effectively is simply by using the gun and saying, okay, when I hit the 8 degrees of gun depression, I don't want to angle anymore. So it's basically just at the corner of your tank. That's how you wanna angle it and get the best armor profile you can get. From the side and rear, this tank is very, very weak. It has 80mm. It has 80mm on the hull and on the turret, so pretty much anything that shoots at it is going to go through. Anyway, guys, without any further ado, let's get stuck into some gameplay. So as you can see, we are on Port Bay in a pretty decent matchup. The enemy has 3 top tier medium tanks, so I'm hoping that my team is going to support me on the right side. The dangerous thing here for me would be crossing the initial first ridge while the enemies already have strong positions in the bushes across the bridge. So I'm looking behind me to see what my team is doing, and I decide it looks like they are coming this way, so I can be a bit more aggressive than was my initial plan. I decide simply to cross the ridge, as I can see that my team is following me, or a lot of my team is following me, and start peeking over here, seeing if this is where they're gonna come. And I decide that I'm a bit open for fire from the right side, so I push forward, and my team spots the M46 Patton, and I spot the T-54. So I make a pretty good shot on him. You could see there the awkwardness with the limited gun depression over the front of the tank. But as soon as I get it in the 25-degree angle, I have the option of 8 degrees, which gives you a lot more flexibility. So I land another good shot on the 54, and then I land one on the 44. The 44, he gets taken out pretty easily. I managed to take a nice tracking shot on him, and hopefully he will. He's gonna regret standing still up there. So I can see the 54 is almost dead, and I'm trying to get a shot on him. Can I get it? No, someone else gets it. I can see the enemies have flanked through the port area, so instead of going all the way around, I decide to go back and go back by going up here. Hopefully I can land some shots over the side of my tank. So we have the KV-3 in front of me. I actually try to turn so I can get the 8 degrees. He's gonna be in a world of hurt because he goes down there. And I can see the IS-6. So the IS-6, he's kind of isolated. So I decided, okay, let's do this. Let's teach him a lesson. I'm gonna do one thing that the E50 does excellently, which is ramming. It weighs 62 tons, can go 60 kilometers an hour. So your enemies are gonna be in a world of hurt if you manage to ram them. So what I'm doing here is just shooting the turret weak spot on the IS-6, counting his reload. When he's ready to shoot, I quickly turn my turret a bit, just to make sure that he doesn't make a full penetration on me. So he's quickly taken out. The enemy only has 2 tanks left, so I decide to go up, and what I want to do here is go for another ram. I have plenty of hit points, my team has plenty of hit points, so I'm gonna be very aggressive now. The 54, he's making a bit of a move forward, but he goes back perfectly for me to land a decent ram on him. And there you go. My shot maybe did 400 damage, and I took another 400 with my ram. So that was a decent game on Port Bay. But let's just check the post-game stats and then get quickly into some more gameplay. So as you can see, I managed to get 4,000 damage, earned a great 50,000 profit, and my team did pretty well as well. So all in all, a good game. So this game is on Lost Temple. I spot that there's a player from one of the friend clans, Loka, on my team. I sent him a quick greeting in game. What I like to do on Lost Temple is go to the temple area, move up on the plateau, and use the small staircases that you can't climb to cover my lower plate, and to also make it so that they can only see my turret. So what you're seeing here is the not so great power to weight ratio of the E50. It's on going up these small hills, I lose up to 25% of my speed simply because the engine is not big enough. It was actually initially at 1200 horsepowers, but they nerfed it. Wargaming nerfed it. I think it was in patch 1.6. So I can see that he's the Loka player. He's also going up on the plateau. He takes the right side, and I decide, okay, let's go for the left side. Hopefully I can get some shots into him. So he tracks the 54. I retrack the 54, and the 54 repairs his tracks. So that was a pretty hectic start. More enemies coming. The Jagdtiger, and also the E100. He's pushing quite aggressively through the middle. So I want to see if I can do some damage to him. So the E100 turns his turret away from me. I know he can't shoot me. I poke out, land a very, very nice shot in his lower plate, setting him on fire. So the Jagdpanzer back there, I'm a bit afraid about him. And what you just saw there was the 54 bouncing off my upper plate. When I'm poking out here, he can only see my upper plate, and he's gonna have to have extreme amounts of luck if he is to penetrate it, even with heat. So the Jagdpanzer, he's not making many moves. He turned a bit, so I decided I had the option to take a shot on the 54. I do so, and I see that the 54 is still miraculously, I managed to bounce a shot from the Jagdpanzer E100. He was aiming at my turret, and I land a tracking shot on him. So I see the E100, I don't want to get shot by him, but I also want to keep this the Jagdpanzer E100 out of the game. That big gun needs to be set in early in the game to be very effective. I land another nice shot on the Jagdpanzer, and unfortunately I waste one of my APCR shells on the E100. So you can see this gun is simply amazingly accurate. Where I point is where I hit, so that just gives you a lot of confidence, and that meant that I could do over 1,600 damage to the Jagdpanzer E100 without him doing any damage to me, simply because I had the very accurate gun and great damage. So the 54, he's put 2 shots into me. I gave him my side, the side of my turret, and I decided let's go get him. He gets around the rock, but I do manage to land 1 extra shot into him. So this gameplay showed you the troll nature of the armor when it's when you're using the surroundings to your benefit. It's very important to do that in the E50, as in general you're not going to be out trading enemies because the DPM is not good enough. So I did manage to land 4,000 damage, be number 1 on my game in a tier 10 game, and that's a very good result. So let's get into the next game. So in this game I'm platooned up with my clanmate Quizzy20. He's grinding his way up to the Object 140, so I've been helping him out a bit with my T54 and also my E50. So this is a bit of a surprise to him that he's coming on YouTube, but hey Quizzy, you asked for it, mate. Have fun. Anyway, we're on one of my least favorite maps, which is the reworked Oasis Palms, and I really think that the only way you can play this map is being in close quarter combat, and Russian mediums are in general much better at close quarter combat than the E50. So I'm a bit concerned, as I see the enemy do have 2 T54s, so I try to go all the way to the right, playing a bit passively, playing a bit cautiously, trying hopefully not to get spotted, and I do manage to not get spotted. So I push around here. You can see the gun depression, even though it's 8 degrees over the side, it's not amazing. So I do try to go for a ram here, but unfortunately he's going backwards, so I don't really do any damage to him. Luckily Quizzy takes him out. I'm gonna go for another shot, and I do manage to track the T54, and I decide, okay, let's do this, ram him, bang. Goodbye. So the Tiger 2 has crested the hill. Brave man. See, they have 2 Tiger 2s over there. They're a platoon, so I don't want to crest the ridge. Why should I do that? Why should I give them the weakest point of my armor when there's also an IS-8 looking over there? So I decide, okay, let's just go around them. So the Centurion, he blocks me initially. I see both Tigers, they are looking the opposite way. So I turn on my adrenaline and try to get in there. And I'm gonna land some pretty decent shots on these Tigers. They are very tunnel visioned. I don't want to ram the Tiger, he's even heavier than I am. And there's really no reason for me to do it. And I go for the tracking shot on the Tiger 2. Going for the tracking shot just gives you the option of earning even more experience, because you get the assisted damage bonuses for all tracking and all spotting you are doing for your enemy or for your team. So I actually derp a bit here. I bounce 2 shells, shoot 1 shell into the ground, bounce 1 shell off his turret because I shot too late, and I'm just giving him my front. He can't see my lower plate now, so he's just getting my front. Unless he loads premium, he's never gonna get through me. So unfortunately, I miss my shot on his top weak spot. But nevertheless, my team quickly takes him out. So I decide, okay, let's go for the IS-8. I know there's someone else also, but he's not really interesting for me. I want to go for the IS-8. It's always most fun to fight the top tier. So I'm gonna get the option of getting a nice ram here. Bang, 310 damage. Hello. Okay, burn a bit. Yep. one more round. Now he's down to one shot. So very, very effective, very, very quick game, showcasing the ramming capabilities and also the pretty trollish nature of the armor again. So let's get into the last gameplay, which is going to be an ace badge. You can see I did 4,000 damage again this game, so pretty good game. But let's get into the next one. So this is going to be the last game in this tank review. It's on Lost Temple yet again. I spot that the enemy, they have one more tier 9 than us. They also have an ISU. I know the ISU, he can really punish me as well as the Jagdtiger. But nevertheless, I'm going to be quite aggressive, go to the plateau, see if I can get the early spots on the enemies when they're hopefully coming into the temple, and try to get out some damage from there. So you can see on this soft terrain, it's very, very sluggish, the E50. It's not. It doesn't turn very quickly in general. It has a 37 degree traverse speed, and I believe the turret traverse is 30 degrees. So that's not great either for a tier 9 medium tank. But nevertheless, I feel it's still a good spot for me. I can conceal my lower plate and give them only my upper plate, which is very, very strong. And what I also can do is simply angle. So I go out, I spot something, I spot the 54. I would rather be shooting at the ISU, to be honest. Poke out. He luckily misses me, so I'm hoping to get another shot on him. I know that I have a significantly faster reload than he does, so I do manage to get one more shot. I see the tip 54, he's pushing around. A bit concerned, but luckily my team is covering it, so I just go back to the position I was in initially and try to make some more shots. So I'm going for a shot on the IS-8. I activate my adrenaline, hoping that I can keep him tracked there, but he simply just rolls past, unfortunately. And our ISU, he's in a bit of a picky situation. I dunk a shell into the lower part of the Tiger P's tracks, which means that I'm not going to be able to penetrate his main armor. But luckily, that means I get a shot on the ISU, and this time I managed to hit his tracks and also do damage to him. So he's actually he was reduced to 0 hit points very, very quickly, and that's what you can do in this tank. You can really dish out the damage, especially when you're playing together with another tier 9 medium tank like the T54 over there. So the 43 is going around. I push to this side because I don't want to get shot in the back by the IS-8. There's no reason for me to give him my weakest armor, and I make a nice shot with the great accuracy of the gun. Spot the Jagdtiger. I'm very concerned, so I turn, bounce on the turret because I was still wobbling a bit. So hoping that I can get into a decent position here, trying to make the shots on the IS-8. But I don't want to go past this building, trying to dance a little, trying to make him miss, and the great accuracy means that I finish him off easily. So I want to wait for this Jagdtiger. I'm hoping that one of my friends is going to push out or he's going to miss a shot. So I'm just looking, when's he going to shoot? Is he going to do something where I can come out and shoot? Yes, he does. I go out, take off his tracks. I decide, let's do it. Push, push, push. And from here on up, it's basically just cleaning up. So I was actually rather surprised watching the post-game stats of this game, because I did pretty much a pretty decent amount of damage. But it was also a very decent game for me. The E50 has a hard time in tier 10 games unless you're carrying a full APCR loadout, which I in general don't like doing. I try to land on him. Yes, I land on the IS, do a bit of damage to him. Now I'm basically just sitting on the front part of his armor. I don't know what he's doing. He looks like he's AFK. Anyway, someone else, please kill him. Okay, but that was it. Quick, easy game. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you will drop a comment, a question, whatever you like. If you like, you can also subscribe. But I'll be back soon with a requested gameplay / review of the Object 140 and the T62, comparing the two tanks, seeing how they perform against each other, what's the weak spots, what are not the weak spots. So I hope you're going to check that out. Thanks for watching, guys. Have fun.